Hi, welcome to us virtually celebrating Endometriosis Day. There are marches going around the world in order to raise awareness for endometriosis. Endometriosis affects over 200 million women worldwide. I believe, well, we've lost a lot of people this year to endometriosis. I believe we're going to have a moment of silence for those that have lost their lives because of this illness. Okay, I think with that, Bettina, would you like to start us off with the questions we got in the group today?
Sure can. Hello. So I just want to say a little bit about the women that may have taken their lives. Um, we aren't sure if they took their lives, but that's what was said. And if they did, I don't find them weak. I feel like people who commit suicide just lose hope. So, and I know that this disease can be very daunting and it can play a lot of mental games too. So,
It can be a very lonely existence.
yes. They are our fallen endo angels.
Yes.
With that being said, let me get to the questions. Okay, so we have one question from Miss Rachel Wood. She asks, has anyone else lost their entire bowel? Um, my answer to that would be if you have endometriosis in your intestines, they should be doing a bowel resection, um, which is where they cut out the disease part, um, and sew the undiseased part back together again. With that being said, though, I have heard of people having multiple bowel resections. I myself have endometriosis on my intestines. I've had my first surgery where they had to unadhere my intestines from my vaginal cuff. So it's possible, I guess, in the end to lose your intestine, but it would have to be a substantial amount of endo that ate through the intestine itself, and this would have to be after multiple resections. And if, yeah, in that case, you would end up with a colostomy bag or ileostomy. Um, okay, we have a question from Miss Morbed Shibazi. She asks, does anyone experience added pain in their upper abdomen area? to the point where it moves, but it'll come back like deep inside. There is such thing as thoracic endometriosis. It can go to your heart. It is rare, but there are cases. Um, you need to get with a skilled surgeon that practices excision and knows all the various appearances to checking your thoracic cavity. The other problem it could be is visceral pain, which visceral pain is the viscera, which is between the organs and the muscle. Um, I with all that being said, I still would have it investigated because you just never know. Even though they say it's rare, all of the rarities seem to happen to us. So I think it would warrant some good thorough investigation.
I agree. Don't take the thing that doctors go, oh, but that's rare. Because guess what? Me and Bettina are here to say every time they go, oh, but that's rare, me and her end up having to deal with it.
Yes. I think probably the smartest approach to that whole ordeal would probably be to get checked out with a cardiologist first. This way, if it's not a cardiology issue, you can have that crossed off your list because they're not going to want to start looking for endo before they cross that bridge. Um,
I think that's a good way to go about it is contact a cardiologist, make sure that it is not cardiovascular issues.
yeah, I mean, the same could be said for the intestines too. Um, you probably should go to GI and colorectal surgeon and make sure first that um, you don't have Crohn's or ulcerative colitis or IBD, um, or you can have a mixture. It really is a slippery slope with that.
Yes, sounds like it. Make sure if it's an issue that involves like bones or something else, you go to a person that deals with bones. You don't just go to your gynecologist. Go, I think I have endo here, because you never know. Because there's other issues that come with endo that people aren't aware of, and we are not aware of. Right. I believe
it's dangerous to lump everything together and think that one disease just has all this power. I mean, it's powerful, but you don't want to do that because you could really be masking something else because you thought it was all endometriosis' fault.
You could be masking something very serious. Not that endo isn't serious, but it could be life-threatening. If you're sitting there going, oh, I have all these problems, and it's thoracic endo.
Right. I concur.
I think with us doing the virtual celebration or whatever you want to call it for Endometriosis Day, I think it's a good thing to talk about what endometriosis is, just in case people don't know.
Be my guest.
Okay. Endo is where the lining of the uterus grows outside of the uterus. It can grow pretty much anywhere, but mainly it's usually in the abdominal cavity, abdominal part of your body. Am I correct on that?
It can go outside. It can go on your sciatic nerve. It can go outside.
But I'm talking to start. Like it spreads eventually.
Well, some people start off though with it all over.
Okay.
It's just the qualification of your surgeon if he knows what he or she is looking at.
True. That's another thing. Make sure you get a qualified surgeon, not someone that just thinks they know about endo or pretends they are a specialist and can't even answer simple questions.
Quacks.
Because trust me, if I would have known what I know now, I wouldn't have went to the doctor I did when I have. Also, for young girls, if there's anybody tuning in that is young, if you start your period, it's heavy and it's painful and stuff. Don't take anybody's word that, oh, it runs in the family. Oh, you're fine. Don't take that as gospel. Because trust me, if me and Bettina are here to say it's not normal.
Nothing in this disease is normal.
No, it's not.
But menstruation is supposed to be uncomfortable, not painful.
Exactly. It's not supposed to make you feel like you're dying every month.
Right. You're not supposed to be vomiting your life out and reevaluating your life as a whole. Okay.
Every time that monthly thing comes around, you're not supposed to go, oh, no, I'm going to die.
Right. Dreading your life. PCOS also runs along with this, as well as fibromyalgia, interstitial cystitis.
Probably CPRS runs alongside it, as we're finding out. There's a bunch of things that run alongside it. And you can't just mask everything and go, oh, all my pain is endo. Because if you do that, you're not going to be treating the actual issue that you have.
100% agree.
Because I tried to do that at the beginning. I was like, oh, it's all endo. No, I had IC too, which once I finally got that, well, as under control as I can, I was like, okay, that helped a lot.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I think it takes a little test of time with this disease to realize you can't lump everything together or else you're going to have problems, more problems than you would have if you thoroughly investigated each problem individually and then come back to endometriosis.
Yes, I agree.
I just had a hell of a doctor that looked at everything and said, this is what we're going to do because I may as well do it while I'm in there instead of making me go to a urologist and all this crazy stuff when he could have did it.
Right. That's because you got a qualified doctor, not a quack like I have.
I mean, my advice as far as doctors goes like this: if you're not feeling comfortable with this doctor or doctors, fire them. They work for you. You don't work for them. If they can't answer questions directly, then they don't deserve to cut you open. That is very serious.
It is. And if you don't believe your doctor is telling you the truth, look it up. Look it up for yourself. There is research.
Don't go off of WebMD. Try to get medical journals. There is a site called Endopedia that will help immensely. It's written by an endo doctor and it tells you everything.
That is great advice.
Mm-hmm. If a doctor tries to go against what's being said in there, he's not a good doctor, because this doctor that wrote and has Endopedia is a pioneer. he's the one who discovered excision surgery.
That is awesome. And a good place for looking up anything. Like your doctor goes, "Oh yeah, ablation is the best treatment here." No, don't listen to that doctor. Go, run away. Run away from that doctor.
Run as fast as you can.
Find somebody else.
Another thing I'd like to say is just be careful with you. Love you enough to not trust everybody that you come across. We've had a lot of wolves in sheep's clothing this year. And it's because everybody's under this umbrella of we have endometriosis and let's kumbaya, but nobody's remembering we still live in a real society that has thieves, liars, and everything else. So I'm asking you, if somebody who has been through things, trust your inner voice. If that person doesn't seem right, walk away.
Don't walk, run. Don't look back.
These are just things that I wish I would have paid attention to when I first got into the online endometriosis community as a whole.
Me too. We find some interesting people, or they find us.
Interesting. That's a nice way of putting it.
I'm trying to be a little nice. But make sure you really, like, before you go and give somebody your life story, make sure you trust them enough to do that, so they can't use your own problems against you.
It is not unkind or ugly to filter. It's actually the opposite. It shows that you love yourself enough not to just let any Tom, Dick, and Harry come up in here and tell you how things are going to be.
Exactly. And remember, you don't have to friend everybody that has endometriosis because they're under the endo sister thing.
Endo umbrella?
You don't have to do that. You don't have to add anybody. You can always unfollow people. You don't have to be friends with the world just because they have endo. Because when you try to do that, you get overwhelmed with craziness.
Yes.
Also, I think that should be a good segue into like mental illness that like runs with kind of runs with endo because of depression and anxiety and all of the above that comes with endo and living with endo.
Yes, agreed. Not exactly sure what came first, the chicken or the egg in this category, but I think what needs to be addressed that is the elephant in the room as far as the endometriosis community goes is the lack of psychological help, because with this disease, like you say, you're constantly isolated. You feel isolated, or your friends, society isolates you because now you are the sick friend and nobody wants to be bothered with you.
Because you've canceled on too many parties or too many occasions where you're like, I can't make it today. And people stop talking to you.
Or you're just the sick one.
Yep.
They want to treat you like you're going to break to pieces. So I think it's really important and healthy to have yourself a therapist. You don't have to go to them all the time. Actually, therapy works. It's like a scale. It all goes off of how much you need it. You don't have to go. Some people go a couple times a week. Some people go once a week. Some people go every 2 weeks, and then once a month. It just depends where you are, and it's actually nothing to be ashamed of. It's just like if you have diabetes. or something. You have to take medicine. You have to go see doctors. You have to take care of yourself.
I think that's very important. Seeing a therapist really helps because they can give you an outsider's opinion on what's happening and how things are affecting you that you might not realize.
Plus, you just have the person to listen to you. Like your friends may try to listen to you, but they might not be doing a good job.
Exactly.
Here's a fun fact. Endometriosis affects 200 million girls worldwide, and it's more common than diabetes and heart disease.
But it's way less talked about.
Yes.
I think that is crazy. That affects way more people than heart disease and diabetes. What?
Right? It is unconscionable that in our society today there's diseases, because endometriosis is not the only one that just have no, we don't know where they originate from, we don't know why they happen, um, and because of that I feel like a lot of doctors stuff it in the closet. It's like the monster that they don't want to deal with.
Exactly. It's too much. But we have to deal with it. We have to slowly start getting awareness out and teaching people what endometriosis is and how it really affects us. And not the whole like cookie cutter, like, oh, it affects fertility and it affects this. No, it affects your life. It's not just fertility and sex issues. It affects a lot of issues. It affects a lot of parts of your life. And just putting it under, oh, it just affects you having a baby or you affects your sex life. That's not the end of what endo does or affects.
No, this is the tip of the iceberg. Because like I said, if you have bowel endometriosis, you might seriously end up with an ileostomy, colostomy bag, or colostomy bag, because they're two different things.
Yes.
Why are you looking like that? Well, I think this is a good part to stop, because this is only a special. This is not a regular conversation.
Yes. Thank you for joining us.
Yes.
And until next time.
Bye.
Bye.